Hey, it's Brian Burns, the author of Selling in a New Market Space. And what I wanted to do today is talk with you about how B2B sales has changed over the years and what's really going on within the clients that I see and how I think we're really missing the boat about how to close large, complex sales in the business to business arena. So let's talk about it. And let me ask you if this sounds familiar. At the beginning of the quarter, everything looks good. You got 3 times your pipeline. Everyone's optimistic. There's lots of deals, lots of big deals, and everyone seems to have a plan. Everyone seems to be confident about what's going to happen. And then very slowly through the quarter, deals tend to shrink and slip and reduce. And that last 2 weeks of the quarter, they actually melt down, and you're the polar bear stuck with just a handful of deals instead of this robust pipeline that you had less than 3 months ago. This problem is ubiquitous. Every company is feeling this, and this is the problem that I solve. I solve it through 25 years of first-hand field experience. But let's dig into it some more. Today, if I talk to salespeople, managers, VPs, the number one problem they all say is getting into new accounts, latent accounts, accounts that aren't aware of our product, aren't aware of the magic that will happen if they buy it, the enormous impact that will happen to their business. So they're stuck with existing accounts, people who come to them in this bloody red ocean of selling where it's highly competitive. People want to commoditize you, want to pigeonhole you, want to have a beauty contest between you and your competitors. So I believe getting in is hard, and I get that, and I have ways of helping you with that. But I see the real problem is staying in. And when I say stay in, that first sales call, if you get in, tends to go pretty good. People tend to get it. We've been taught a lot of things about storytelling, giving great presentations, challenging, bringing insights, solution selling, coming up with great questions. All of this stuff is fantastic. And most sales reps do really, really well on that first sales call. The days of putting people to sleep and boring them to death with PowerPoints, people get to not do that. And that problem has been pretty much solved. But what we don't learn about those skills, or we don't recognize about those skills, is that they are not enough. They're not enough to keep us in. So what tends to happen is after that first sales call, everyone's happy. This is a deal. Let's put it on the forecast. It's going to be huge. It's going to be enterprise-wide. It cannot not happen. They were so psyched. It's just a perfect match. And we've got our champion. And our champion's going to help us. They're going to guide us through the organization and tell us what to do and tell us who to talk to and what the product needs to integrate with and the proposal needs to look like and what the ROI needs to look like. And this is a sure thing now. But what we don't recognize is what's going on behind the scenes, what the champion is facing. Because the champion doesn't really know what to do. They've probably never bought anything the size of what you're trying to sell them. They've got a personal win in it, a political win for themselves, but they don't understand how to allocate funding, how to weave through the political issues within the company, and that they really don't want to expose you to those people. So you're basically working through their firewall of what the organization looks like. And they tell you what to bid. So you put together this beautiful proposal, and that gets in well before the end of the quarter with an expiration date and a discount for the end of the quarter. And you just know it's going to happen. It's got to happen. They loved us. Why not? Come on, this is definitely going to happen. But then what happens? The reality is that your champion goes radio silent. Why? Because they're getting stuck. Or maybe you don't know why. Because they're not telling you. They're not returning your calls. They're not returning your emails, and you're stuck. The sales rep is stuck. So what do? They're panicking. They're going to start calling around this person. They're going to start telling you, the manager, whatever you want to hear so they can buy time because they know it's going to happen. It's got to happen because they need it for their quota. So this becomes the mystery middle of the B2B sales. What happens after that first sales call and before you ever get an economic buy-in from somebody at the company? It becomes this mystery. We don't understand it because so few people have done it. None of the books talk about this. The Challenger Sale talks about surveys by two guys who have never sold. And you know what I call books on selling by people who have never sold? It's called fiction. It's people guessing what's going on based off of a survey. I base what I do after actually doing it for 25 years and continuing to help people do it. I can show you what's going on in this mysterious middle part of the sales process between first call and closure in the B2B large deal space. What we think is the deals just get stuck. Oh, it's going to happen. It just needs this approval by this guy over here who's out of town or on vacation or just had a baby. Yeah, the deal's stuck. No, the deal is actually dead and you don't know it. And you're not going to recognize it or accept it for probably another quarter after it's been on the forecast for a birthday or two. So, no, the deal is not stuck. The deal is dead, and you don't know it. And then you kind of panic and you go, I'm going to go above my champion. I'm going to talk to the CEO. I'm going to really understand what's going on here. But the problem is the CEO doesn't know about it. You're end running people and destroying a relationship that you should have established at the beginning. And this is what early stage salespeople don't understand and how things are changing today. Or you just think, oh, it died due to no decision. Well, yeah, that's kind of a cop-out, though. It's really not a reason. It's just an excuse for what's happening. So what's happening today with salespeople is they're on a treasure hunt. And what I mean by that, if you remember the movies, they go from hint to hint. There's no clear process. There's no clear understanding of where they are and where the treasure is. And all they do is they go from one place to another, deciphering a hint, a clue, to get to the next clue. This is wrong. This is inefficient. This is error prone. This will not get you big deals. What I help you do is build a treasure map, showing you exactly where the treasure is, the obstacles that you'll have to go around, what you'll have to do from where you are now to where the treasure is. And this is what we need today. And this is the missing piece, is this treasure map. The key is you'd have to have somebody who's actually found treasure before, who has actually lived through this, not a bunch of people taking surveys of people who've done this. You need the person who's actually done it. So if that's interesting to you and you want to increase revenue and understand exactly what's going on in those accounts today, give me a shout out. info@maverickmethod.com. That's my website. I've got 2 books on the complex sale. I've got a podcast called The Brutal Truth About Sales and Selling and a YouTube channel called Maverick Method. That's it. I really appreciate you watching this video and let me know how I can help you blow your number out now.